Hi, friends. It's August the 21st, 2024. I guess this is the third video I did today, and this is unusual for me. But I was having some thoughts about as we get older, why do our values change? Now, I'm going to be real raw and unedited with you. I've been a counselor all my life. And when I say counselor, I'm going to name them psychologist, clinical social worker, licensed marriage and family counselor, licensed school psychologist, and licensed alcohol and drug counselor. Do you know why I got all those? Because I was a failure. It took me so many years to get out of college and then to get accepted to the first graduate school and then the second graduate school. And then I failed the state of psychology exam in Kentucky 2 times, passed it the third. That's just the first license I had to earn. I mentioned the others. We're not going to talk about them, but I earned them. Now, why do I mention that? Because all my life since then until now, I have worked with people to help them become what they wanted to become. Also, to help them get off drugs. Also, to keep their family together and their marriage together. And it's taken a beating on my mental and emotional life. So, we're talking tonight about why people may prefer to be alone the rest of their life. We've seen, unfortunately, the worst. We've heard the worst. We've worked with the worst of the characteristics of those we worked with. We've worked our guts out to help them improve, to help them overcome even going to prison if they had drug addictions or if they were selling drugs. I go into the courthouse to defend people I worked with. I went to the jails to evaluate them. I kept people out of prison when the attorneys decided they didn't want to do it, but if they sent the person to me, I'd write a report and show up in court in the courtroom and testify that they were honestly able to turn their life around. The reason I say that isn't to say I'm wonderful, is to say it transferred their emotions into me. Their their problems became mine. I became weaker as they became stronger. I would work on this when I slept, when I dreamed, when I wasn't working. All these, what would you call it? Concerns, problems were here for me to solve. So, what's that do when you spend all your money and all your study time and find universities that will take you because you're not necessarily a genius? What's that do to a man that's now 75 and a half? You feel beaten down. You feel no one, please come close to me anymore. I don't I don't have the words to be friendly. I guess that's the wrong thing to say. I don't have the words to be your friend. I, I like you, and the Bible says I'm to love you, so I love you. But we can't get together anymore. If you want to call me, we'll talk. I've become a hermit because of the hundreds, if not thousands, of people that I have seen. And I have no idea if it's in the thousands or if it's in the high hundreds because I don't have the charts anymore. I don't have the records anymore. Now you're saying you don't see anyone anymore. Two people, senior citizens, older than me, to keep them afloat, to keep them from sinking. Okay, now that I've said all this is why older people don't seek new relationships. I have said many times I don't want any more friends. I think I have 5, but not more than 10. Friends or acquaintances. I won't go to my school reunions anymore. I've become a hermit. Now, am I happy? Yes, most of the time. I read books. I write. I've written 4 books lately. And they're on Amazon under my name. I hesitate to write any more books because there's too many being published, self-published, being put on Amazon that I'm lucky to even sell a book a year. I'm just kidding about that. I do sell more than 1 book a year. Um, I thought about picking up these 2 guitars over here and becoming a rock singer again. I almost was once. I thought about buying oil paints and becoming a famous oil painter, which I was once, but I sold all the paintings. I thought about a lot of things that are in the creativity area. You know, at my age, I guess that's where I'm going. I'm going with creativity. I'm going with self expression like I'm doing now. Do I want to do small talk with everybody that I used to? No. Am I looking for people to have fun with, to engage with, to converse with? No. And I really can't tell you why, because you're saying, Jim, you've got all these degrees. You know everything. You're a psychologist and you're you've got all these other licenses. That doesn't make me smart. It just provides me with the ability to help other people. And almost every day, I hear, even today, from people that I would not have ever imagined I helped, whether it's mental health or addictions. I hear it and can't believe it. You mean someone I saw 12 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago changed their whole life because of me just talking to them like I'm talking to you? That's how I do counseling, just like I'm talking to you. You're saying that what I said to you changed your life around? I wouldn't believe it if you didn't tell me that. And I'm still not sure that I can believe the whole story that you're telling me. So when you see this many people and you see their faults, let's call it for what it is, not weaknesses. It is weaknesses. It's faults also. It's also sins, but you don't want to hear that one. You don't want to hear about the sins that I've heard that have been shocking. I'm not I'm not sure I did much about turning those people around. Um, we're getting into we're getting to a different area than mental health. We're getting into different than addictions. We're getting into the spiritual realm, the demonic realm, the devil realm, which I do not specialize in and never have, but have a lot of information and um, it's too frightening for me to even go into that area. Anyone that's interested in it, Scott Peck is the author. Scott Peck wrote People of the Lie. That was his introduction to people that couldn't be helped through therapy or medicine. And his final book was called Glimpses of the Devil. Glimpses of the Devil. If you're interested, I've read them both. I'm going to read them again. So, we're talking about various things. We're talking about mental health, we're talking about addictions, we're talking about the supernatural, and the supernatural specifically being demonology. Okay, I think I've probably turned a lot of people off by that last 5 minutes. But you know where I'm coming from, you know who I am. And hey, look, I'm not perfect. I, first half of my life, I wouldn't want to even talk about. So let's end it this way. If you would like more about what I talk about and want to hit the subscribe button, I'll be here for you. Uh, this is the third one I've done tonight. Maybe some weeks I don't do any, many days I don't do any, but I'm picking up energy at 75 years old. But what I was mainly going to say is when you're my age, you really like being alone. You really like reading books alone. You really like having 2 or 3 friends, maybe 4 or 5, having coffee and lunch with them. You're not into going to concerts. You're really not into taking vacations. At least I'm not. And a lot of people I know aren't. A lot of people my age are having severe health problems that would prevent a lot of things that they did when they were in their teens and 20s and 30s. I'm not quite there yet. If you like this, go ahead and subscribe because I'll be back on. As you know, this was unplanned, unscripted, and spontaneous, and that's the way it's always going to be unless some tutor can teach me how to be professional. Have a great day. Have a great rest of the week, and I hope to see you soon.